boutiques and upscale flea in Lamar.
Crowder College's College Assistance Migrant Program receives more than $2 million. Alumni of the program say that program changed their lives, and you'll hear from them coming up.
Local health professionals report a spike in COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The College Assistance Migrant Program at Crowder College got a major boost when they learned they'd received more than $2 million in federal funding. This is KOIM News at 10. That funding will help the program continue for 5 years. KOIM's Mike Mahoney spoke to the program's director and participants to learn more.
Fanny Perez and Selma Perez aren't related, but they are both participants of the Crowder College Camp program who will be returning to act as mentors to new members. And thanks to CAMP, which is short for College Assistance Migrant Program, their educations are taking off.
I plan to transfer to probably MSU or MSSU and hopefully in the future become a professor.
Well, I'm going to transfer to PSU soon to get my bachelor's in nursing and hopefully one day become a doctor.
Director of the camp program, Lisa O'Hanahan, is celebrating because the program was recently notified that it would receive $2,375,000 in federal funding, allowing it to operate for the next 5 years. The program provides first-year Crowder College scholarships to 40 students from migrant and seasonal farm worker backgrounds and eliminates a lot of the financial roadblocks in the way of their educations.
They may be the first person, they may be that first generation of individuals for their family to come to college, but we often then see another sibling and then a couple of years later we might see a cousin, and so it really does change the opportunity for the family.
Camp scholarships do more than just cover tuition, books, room, and board. They also provide participants with academic guidance, leadership opportunities, and more.
I met many friends and those friends became family for me.
They helped me form friendships that I never thought I could ever form.
In Neosho, Missouri, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
Camp scholarships are available at Crowder College. If you'd like to learn more or apply, click on the link in this story, koimnewsnow.com. Nick Kelly joins us. Muggy out there. Some people, a few anyway, getting a bit of rain right now.
I know after everybody had a pretty decent day, Dow, unfortunately, didn't feel quite as nice. 68 degrees, a low this morning in Joplin. A high of 92. It's been a while since we've seen numbers like that come back into the region, but that's just a hint of where temperatures will be over the next couple of days. Our main upper low still spinning across Illinois and Indiana. It didn't do a lot for us today. Partly sunny skies for much of the day, but it wasn't until about 2 or 3 hours ago we started to see these little isolated showers, especially a thunderstorm between Pineville and Bentonville as you continue south along 49. Those few showers, couple of storms will be out there for a little bit, but I think by the morning drive, everyone's quiet, but definitely mild and muggy with lows near 72. Can't rule out a random storm tomorrow, Dow, but you see in Joplin and all across the area, highs back in the lower 90s, so another hot and humid day ahead of us. And we'll see if this will be the trend for the weekend coming up here in a bit.
All right, catch you then. Thanks, Nick. COVID-19 cases are beginning to spike across the area again. Hospitalizations for COVID are up at both Freeman and Mercy compared to just a couple of weeks ago. Freeman Hospital went from 8 inpatients on May 28th to 23 as of today. Mercy has seen a similar increase. Officials tell us in the past 2 weeks their numbers have gone from single digits to around 21. Officials say the increase is likely due, at least in part, to more unvaccinated people being out for such things as graduations and Memorial Day.
I think that's one reason that we're seeing this spike is we just don't have the population vaccinated that we need to have to get to that herd immunity, and then we would see a vast decline in the coronavirus at that point.
With the vaccine now open to everyone 12 and older, officials with Mercy are encouraging everyone who wants a vaccine to stop by one of their walk-in clinics. Missouri Governor Mike Parson says addressing the clemency petition for Kevin Strickland isn't a priority, even though prosecutors say Strickland did not commit the triple murder that put him behind bars more than 4 decades ago. Parson has a backlog of about 3,000 clemency requests and says the cases drawing attention don't necessarily jump to the front of the line. Several state lawmakers signed a letter seeking a pardon for Strickland, who has maintained his innocence since he was convicted of the 1978 killings in Kansas City. The Jackson County prosecutor, Gene Peters Baker, has called for his release. A federal appeals court panel has blocked Missouri from enforcing a sweeping state abortion law that bans the procedures at or after 8 weeks of pregnancy. The 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in St. Louis heard arguments in September in the legal battle over the 2019 law. It would also prohibit a woman from having an abortion because the fetus has Down syndrome. The lawsuit was filed by Reproductive Health Services, which operates Missouri's lone abortion clinic in St. Louis, and by the ACLU. Missouri's Attorney General Eric Schmidt says he plans to appeal to the Supreme Court. President Biden is in England tonight on the first leg of an 8-day visit to Europe that'll include meetings with European leaders, Queen Elizabeth, and even Vladimir Putin. Skylar Henry reports.
President Biden's first overseas trip as commander-in-chief began with an address to U.S. troops at an English air base.
At every point along the way, we're going to make it clear that the United States is back.
The White House says Mr. Biden is on a mission to repair relationships with allies. He's even bringing gifts in the form of coronavirus vaccines. CBS News has learned that the U.S. has agreed to buy another 500 million doses from Pfizer to give to lower-income countries. The president is expected to announce the donations on Thursday.
We have to end COVID-19 not just at home, which we're doing, but everywhere.
President Biden will sit down with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson ahead of the G7. He'll visit Queen Elizabeth at Windsor Castle on Sunday and then head to Belgium for meetings with NATO and EU leaders.
Make it clear to Putin and to China that Europe and the United States are tight.
The president's 8-day journey will end in Geneva with a sit-down with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Biden has promised to confront Putin about Russian cyber attacks and election meddling.
I'm heading to the G7, then to the NATO ministerial, and then to meet with Mr. Putin to let him know what I want him to know.
Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says the Kremlin doesn't expect any major agreements will be reached during next week's summit. But Lavrov said the two major nuclear powers need to meet face-to-face to exchange their opinions. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
First Lady Jill Biden will accompany the president for the first part of his trip. She'll return to the U.S. following the meeting with the Queen. No more Keystone Pipeline project. TC Energy Corp announced today that it'll terminate the effort. President Biden revoked a key permit for the project when he took office in January. The Keystone Project has been a political landmine for the past several years. Supporters said it would benefit U.S. energy capabilities, while critics said it posed a threat to the environment. Europe is now ready to open up more borders. The European Parliament approved a special pass to allow travel across the EU. Parliament members voted on the deal yesterday and results were announced today. Travel certificate will prove that a person has been vaccinated against COVID, tested negative for the virus, or has recovered from the disease. The pass is expected to go into effect by July 1st in all EU countries. Some non-EU countries are also in the pipeline to start using the certificate. Still ahead, a longtime Joplin firefighter and former fire chief is laid to rest. And the Better Business Bureau gives us some tips on how to avoid becoming a victim of a Father's Day shopping scam.
At Ashley Home Store.
A former Joplin fire chief who passed away last week was laid to rest today. A celebration of life for William Harry Gwynn was held at Park Plaza Church in Joplin. Gwynn was then laid to rest at the Ozark Memorial Park Cemetery. Gwynn served at the Joplin Fire Department for 42 years, including 15 as chief before retiring in 1995. He passed away on June 1st at the age of 90. The Veterans Affairs Clinic in Joplin is honoring the security officer who until recently stood guard over the facility. Dwayne Gilbert passed away recently. To honor him, the clinic took down the American flag at the facility to give to Gilbert's family. The VA clinic also raised a new flag. A viewer submitted this photo to us. You can do the same. Submit a photo at KOIMnewsnow.com/photos. 69-year-old Crane, Missouri man is dead following a tractor accident. Missouri State Highway Patrol says the accident happened Sunday afternoon along a farm road south of Aurora. The patrol says Burl Baum fell off the tractor and was run over when it rolled backward. Baum died at the scene. A 3-vehicle crash in Berry County, Missouri killed a 74-year-old Manette, Missouri woman. The Missouri Highway Patrol says a UPS van failed to yield and turned in front of a car driven by Linda Gunter. Gunter hit the van that was then pushed into a 3rd vehicle. The driver of the UPS van and the other vehicle were not hurt. Gunter's passenger suffered serious injuries. Gunter died at the hospital. Parsons, Kansas police say information collected from a robbery and burglary suspect's ankle monitor led to his arrest. Police say Paul Gordon is accused of breaking into a Parsons Taco Mayo and also robbing a bank in Independence, Kansas. Police say in both cases, Gordon was wearing an ankle monitor that showed he was at the businesses at the time of the crimes. Authorities have also arrested a woman in connection with the crimes. They say that woman lied to investigators who questioned her about the burglary at Taco Mayo. Father's Day is June 20th, and ahead of the holiday, of course, a lot of people are going to be doing a lot of shopping, and a lot of that shopping is going to be done online. Well, the Springfield branch of the Better Business Bureau wants you to shop safely. That includes reading the fine print. Make sure if you're buying a gift card, for example, that you read the terms and conditions prior to your purchase. Also, do your homework. Check the company's score on the BBB website.
So we just want you guys to be very cautious and be very aware, because when you are aware, Father's Day is awesome. Like, who doesn't love to celebrate dads and grandpas? Just don't, break your heart and fall for a scam.
Again, Father's Day is June 20th. The Joplin DMV is back open at full capacity after it was flooded in recent storms. Some of the vital equipment has been raised higher in case of future floods. Officials say there's no forgiveness for any deadlines people may have missed because other places do handle the same services. They're still doing some recovery work, but they say that does not affect service. Later, the PSU women's basketball team passes on their skills to the next generation of ballers.
A few thunderstorms out there this evening, but we're looking at mainly another hot and humid day tomorrow. Forecast up next.
Hiring to start your future today.
For much of the day, we actually kept things pretty quiet for a change. Unfortunately, that took us from a mild start in the upper 60s to near 70 this morning to the lower 90s. Numbers I thought we would hold off on for about another day, but leave it to Mother Nature to do whatever she wants to do. So even though it looked nice from Indigo Sky Casino and Resort outside of Seneca, Missouri, that is what led to highs in the lower 90s this afternoon, along with the humidity that we're starting to push into the mid to upper 90s. Again, though, throughout much of the day, we just didn't see a whole lot of activity. It's a nice change of pace. But over the past few hours, we have noticed a broken band of isolated showers and even a couple of thunderstorms, mainly impacting our southern counties. We can go in a little bit tighter. There's a decent shower west of 59 between Welch and Chautauqua, but the better thunderstorm on the board is slowly working away from McDonald County, so it's firmly in Benton County, but nothing severe. It's a pretty decent thunderstorm, though, around Bentonville and Rogers as we continue into the late night hours ahead of us. We're quiet in Joplin. Looks nice. Still feels warm and muggy, though. 78 degrees, feels like 80 with the calm breeze and the dew point sitting in the lower 70s. That doesn't feel good to be out and about, and not much better outside of the city. Everyone's in the upper 70s to lower 80s at the 10 o'clock hour. You factor in that dew point in the lower 70s, it still feels like the mid 80s in some spots, but it does start to feel a little bit cooler, like 78 in Stockton and 73 over in the Veda. Switching over to the broader look at the weather setup, if I can just get the computer to cooperate with us. There we go. Again, watching just a few straggling showers and storms. Nothing crazy expected from those, and they should pretty much fizzle away by the time the morning drive gets underway. Not much to show across the Central Plains. And there we go. We have that stubborn front at the surface still well to the north and west. This does not make a play in our area for at least the next few days. So it's the upper low still just cut off from the jet, trying to give us a few straggling showers and storms. But then this upper ridge finally emerging from Mexico, that really starts to come into play over the next few days. Again, the few showers, couple of storms out there in our southern counties, they'll be out there to start the overnight, but I think we're dry to start the morning out. Mild and muggy though, with lows in the lower 70s. If I can get our computer to get us into Thursday afternoon, we'll keep skies partly sunny, but can't rule out a random storm. Doesn't change the fact that it's going to be another hot and humid day. 72 in the morning, 87 by noon, afternoon highs around 91. That upper ridge keeps lows in the lower, if not mid 70s for Friday morning, and highs go back into the, let's say the lower 90s again for Friday. If I can just get this darn computer to move along, because I do want to show you a system trying to ride around the ridge. And if it can pull itself together, this could bring a good band of thunderstorms in from north to south as we go into late Friday afternoon and Friday evening. So something to keep an eye on as we go through the next couple of days. And I apologize for the graphics here, folks. I'm trying to get to our 7-day forecast, and there it is, right as we say. It's 92 on your Friday, 89 Saturday with a few storms, 91 mostly sunny and hot for Sunday. And hopefully we can at least dial things back into the 80s by the middle of next week now.
Maybe the graphics computer overheated a little bit.
It probably needs a reboot. It's had a day.
A lot of us have. Thanks, Nick. Coming up in sports, a former Southeast Kansas baseball standout finishes his career with a special season in Alabama. Plus, Pitt State's high school basketball camp puts current players on the other side of the game. Jacob Leonard has that story next.
Today is the first day of high school team camp for Pitt State women's basketball. Now, in the next 9 days, more than 130 high school teams will be in town, playing more than 240 games in 11 different local gyms, with PSU head coach Amanda David, her assistants, and her players running the show. Pittsburgh State's annual team camp is a big undertaking for head coach Amanda David and her program.
It's something that's been established, and so it's the same dates every year. We've had a lot of loyal teams coming over the years, and so it was great to see everybody again.
For the players at Pitt State, it puts them on the other side of the game for a couple weeks.
We get up at 7 a.m. for weights and then come here work games from 9 to 6.
And they do all the t-shirts, they do the scorekeeping, they do, one of our girls, Shayla Kohler, actually organized the entire dorm setting. So she organized 400 kids in the dorms. She wants to get into basketball operations, and so she's like doing some of the logistics with us. So it's really cool. It gets us to work with our kids in a totally different environment.
It's also one of the first times incoming freshmen get to work with their new teammates.
It's been so much fun. I love being around the girls. They're great people and really fun to play with. Getting used to the style of play is a little bit different than high school, obviously. It's a lot faster, but you know, having such great teammates, they've really helped me adjust, and I'm really excited for the season to start.
One of the biggest factors is just that they get acclimated to their environment, and so it's not like when they come to campus in August, it's the first time they've been here, and it's just information overload and stimulus overload and being away from home. They've never been away from home.
This is a really good chance for the freshmen and incoming people to get acquainted with the team, and we scrimmage on days as well. So it's a really good time to just come together for the first time before season.
Coach David says she has 63 teams in the first session of the camp this week, with 73 teams scheduled to be in Pittsburgh next week. Major League Baseball tonight, both the Royals and Cardinals in action. And the Cards try to snap a 6-game skid against Cleveland. That one just went final. Cards win at 8-2. As for the Royals, they have LA tonight. That one's in the bottom of the 6th. Kansas City trails it 2-1. Former Fort Scott Tiger and Neosho County Panther Caleb Delatorre just finished up his baseball career at South Alabama. The Jags won a Sun Belt tournament title and finished as the regional runner-up on Monday. We caught up with the former local standout to talk about finishing up his baseball journey with a special season in Alabama.
It was incredible. You know, this team's really special. It was a special group. You know, we're all brothers, and it was kind of one of those things where we got hot at the right time. I mean, there was that Florida game. I mean, we had 10 straight hits with 2 outs. I mean, stuff like that never happens. So, I mean, what we did these past couple of weeks were incredible, and I mean, we made history together, and I couldn't be more proud of that.
Delatorre hit .375 in the team's final 4 games with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. You can check out our full story with Delatorre on the sports page at KOAMNewsNow.com. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Senior Airman Amber LaPointe served in the U.S. Air Force. Her hometown, Parsons, Kansas. And we are proud to salute Senior Airman Amber LaPointe. She's tonight's 4-state hero. The once trusty typewriter is now a relic of the past, but it's making a comeback thanks to Lego. The legendary toy maker is launching a model of the old school item that features moving keys and a carriage. This set, which is targeted for adult Lego builders, comes with nearly 2,100 pieces and is designed to function like an actual typewriter. It was inspired by Steve Guinness, a Lego fan from Great Britain, who sent his idea to the company. Guinness' submission received more than 10,000 votes from fellow Lego fans. He'll also receive some of the profits earned from sales. The Lego typewriter goes on sale this summer and will cost just under $200.
At first I thought it was pretty cool until you mentioned the price tag.
Yeah, but a lot of Lego fans out there. I'm curious, quickly, have either of you guys actually used a typewriter?
Yeah, my grandma used to have one in her house when I was little.
Grandma used to have one.
Kindergarten, yes.
Oh my goodness. All right, quickly, weather.
Okay, a few storms tonight and maybe around a storm tomorrow, but hot and humid again, highs near 91.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Let's take care of ourselves and each other and make it a great one.
If you see news happening